Hi there, my name is Abe Brown. I'm the founder of Momentum Coaching, and I'm the author of the transformational book, Getting Where You Need to Go. I'm also the North American president for the Certified Coaches Federation, which is one of the largest executive and life coach training organizations in the world. Thanks so much for taking a few moments to join me on this video today. I want to share with you here today, just for a few minutes, what I call the 4 F's for starting a new year. Now today is January the 12th, 2013. We've just started a brand new year. Happy New Year, by the way. And rather than, putting out a video on January 1st where I talk about doing a resolution or doing 5 resolutions and figuring out all kinds of great steps so you can do this or lose this amount of weight or make this amount of money, what I wanted to do was focus kind of around the middle of January on some principles that would help you construct, design, and build an amazing 2013, because all of the resolutions and goals in the world are useless unless they're founded on a solid foundation. And so I want to take a few moments and share a couple of principles with you as we gaze on the sunset of an old year, but also look forward to the sunrise of a brand new year. It's often at the sunset of an old year and the sunrise of a new year that clarity speaks deep within our heart in those sacred spaces within our lives. Now, January got its name from the Roman god Janus. Janus was a man with two faces. One looked backward, the other one looked forward. A new year provides us a valuable opportunity, in a sense, to be two-faced. To have one face looking back and reviewing the year prior, but also one face looking forward, thinking, strategizing, looking at adjustments that need to be made. And so I want to look at 4 F's for a new year. I hope that this will help us bring closure to what's behind so that we can run with enthusiasm towards what's ahead. So let's just dive in. 4 simple principles. Number 1, extend forgiveness. This is what I call the principle of closing accounts. Now, it is so important that we as human beings understand this principle of forgiveness. It's critically important to our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. I would encourage you to make a list of everyone who hurt you in 2012. Those who maybe wounded you, those who offended you, those who weren't considerate, those who didn't think about your needs, those who in any way caused hurt or pain to come into your life. Identify how they hurt you so that you don't move into a space of denial. Don't suppress it, don't repress it, own it. Take a look at it, make a list, write it down. Understand that by forgiving others, you're actually releasing yourself. One of the greatest breakthroughs that I learned years and years ago, having grown up in an abusive situation where I was abandoned by my father and experienced all kinds of abuse from different men within my life, was simply this, that we don't do the others a favor by forgiving, but we do ourselves. You see, by extending forgiveness to others, I'm releasing myself. And so once you've made that list, once you've identified how people have hurt you in 2012, I would encourage you to make the decision to forgive. Forgiveness as a choice doesn't mean that all the pain goes away. And it doesn't mean that you have chosen to trust them again. But what it means is that you have given yourself permission to be free of the pain that they've caused you so that you can move forward. Because without forgiving, you'll experience what I call the bitterness principle. So extend forgiveness. Number 2, forget what you need to. This is the principle of closure. Now, if your 2012 was anything like mine, there were some highs and there were some lows. There were some ups and there were some downs. There were some successes, some moments where you achieved and accomplished things that took your breath away. But then there were other moments where maybe you had some personal failures, some personal disappointments, maybe even some loss. I would encourage you to develop a great sense of amnesia, forgetting those things that are behind so that you can press forward to what is ahead. Without forgetting, you'll experience the bondage principle. The third principle that I want to give you is focus on what you need to. This is the principle of clear vision. A clear vision will harness your potential. A clear vision will help you tap into the laser power of focus. Here's a question for you. What is your vision statement for 2013? Don't just head into 2013. Head into 2013 with a vision. Head into 2013 with a clear sense of your goals, of your objectives, of the values that you're going to live by, of your personal mission. Without focus, you'll experience the blurry principle. Part of focusing is not focusing on all those things that aren't connected to the priorities that you have within your life. So have the capacity to say yes to some things, but no to others. The fourth principle is to go forward where you need to. This is the principle of consistent personal growth. Now, W. Edwards Deming is the statistician who established what is called the total quality movement, first in Japan and then in the rest of the world. Deming's contribution is historically so profound that the U.S. News and World Report called him one of the 9 hidden turning points in history, along with the birth control pill and the Apostle Paul. Now, after 50 years of statistical study, Deming pointed out that in every process there's a beginning and there's an end. There's a beginning and there's an end. When you focus on the first 15% of that process and you get it correct in terms of its initial conditions, you ensure that at least 85% of the desired outcome happens exactly the way that you wanted it to. By focusing on the first 15% of anything, the remaining 85% will effortlessly flow. Now, getting the process correct when it comes to you and I is all about ongoing training, ongoing education, ongoing personal growth, ongoing professional development. Michelangelo said, if people knew how hard I worked to get my mastery, it wouldn't seem so wonderful at all. You see, there's a process that's involved of work and effort, but if we dig in, if we drill into that first 15-20%, then we ensure that the rest will work out the way that it needs to. You see, when we stop growing, we start dying. Will Rogers said, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. So going forward is all about making choices and developing habits so that we consistently continue to grow and move forward as people. You see, it's all about daily choices, daily habits, which flow from an overall life focus of personal growth, personal development, and professional development. Aristotle said this, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but it's a habit. You see, a lot of this has to do with having a coach, having a mentor. It's critically important that we open up our lives and allow people to speak into our lives. We need to be constantly growing, constantly increasing. So here's my question for you in 2013. Where do you need to improve? Financially, relationally, emotionally, educationally, mentally, maybe physically, maybe it's spiritually, maybe it's in other areas that we haven't even thought about. But I encourage you to take make a list of 2, 3, 4 things that you really need to focus on in 2013 to really help you get where it is that you need to go. Because without going forward, you'll experience the boredom principle. And so, you know, as I conclude this short little video, my hope has been not to pound you into making some kind of resolution for 2013, because frankly, most of the time that doesn't work. It's really about deciding to establish some principles on which you can live your life in 2013 so that you can get the most out of it. Let me give you the 4 F's for starting the new year. Number 1, extend forgiveness. Number 2, forget what you need to. Number 3, focus on what you need to. And number 4, go forward where you need to. I hope you have an amazing, amazing, amazing 2013. Thank you very much. Take care.